You're listening to Inside Insight, the podcast that dives into the latest innovations and strategies in manufacturing, distribution, and Dynamics 365 Business Central. Brought to you by InsightWorks, this show features our hosts, Ryan and Emma, as they bring you expert conversations, industry insights, and practical advice to help you stay ahead in this constantly evolving world.
Hey everyone, let's dive into MES for Business Central, specifically how the Shop Floor Insight app kind of fits into all of this.
Right, so you've got Business Central working well, managing your resources, but how do you actually connect that to what's really going on in production? You know, that's where MES comes in, bridging that gap with real-time information.
Right, so it's like you've got this great plan, but no way to really know if everyone's following it, like in real time. Shop Floor Insight seems to be that missing piece. What really stood out to me was their focus on execution, not just planning.
Yeah, that's a problem for a lot of manufacturers. They've got the plan, but things are constantly changing on the shop floor, right? Shop Floor Insight uses things like barcode scanning and touch screens right there on the floor, even mobile compatibility.
Barcode scanning. I'm picturing like someone scanning their lunch before clocking in. Haha. It's kind of how it works.
Yeah. Well, not exactly, but it is about making data entry easier and reducing errors. So instead of manually typing everything in, workers can scan barcodes on work orders, materials, even their badges. And just like that, the information is in the system accurately.
So it's like this, like a constant stream of data, all in sync. Employees can clock in and out, see how the job's progressing, even record the materials they used just by scanning.
You got it. All that data goes right back into Business Central. Managers get a really clear picture of what's happening in production, all in real time. They're not waiting for like end-of-the-month reports to find out what's going on.
Now that's powerful. Speaking of managers, what about reporting? Does all this real-time data help with things like knowing how much a job costs or making quick decisions when things change, on the fly?
Imagine you've got reports that you can customize that show exactly how much each job is costing. They show any variances and your overall efficiency, and it's all happening in real time. They even have different options for visualizing the data. You can use Excel, Power BI, or just stay right in Business Central.
So no more guesswork, right? Now, do we have examples of companies actually using Shop Floor Insight and seeing these benefits, like in the real world?
They talk about a company called SignZone in their materials. They were having issues with production, tracking, scheduling, high scrap rates, all sorts of things. They were already using Business Central, but they needed like that extra edge in execution.
Sounds like a lot of manufacturers, to be honest. So what happened when SignZone started using Shop Floor Insight?
Well, they started using barcode scanning, making scheduling adjustments in real time, and automating their time tracking. And the results. They were able to reduce scrap, improve their on-time deliveries, and just get a much clearer picture of what was happening on the shop floor.
That's a great story. Let's say we have a small manufacturer. They're using Business Central but having trouble keeping track of work in progress and labor costs. How would Shop Floor Insight help them?
Well, think about Shop Floor Insight's labor tracking that uses barcodes. So when an employee starts or stops working on a job, they scan a barcode. The job status is updated automatically, their time is recorded, and they don't have to rely on like handwritten timesheets or guessing anymore.
So if they're losing money and they don't know where it's going, this would be a big help.
Definitely. Real-time updates on job progress and labor costs mean they can react quickly. If a job is taking longer or costing more than it should, they know right away, and then they can adjust pricing, move resources around, or figure out what's causing the problem.
It seems like Shop Floor Insight really helps with accuracy, saving time, controlling costs, and making better decisions. But what makes it different? Why would you choose it over something else?
I think a few things really stand out. First, it works seamlessly with Business Central. There are no like messy connectors or anything. It all just flows between the two systems.
Nobody needs integration headaches, that's for sure. So what else is there?
Well, we already talked about how efficient barcodes are. They get rid of errors and speed up data collection.
And it can grow with a company too, right?
Absolutely. Scalability is super important. Whether it's a small startup or a large company, Shop Floor Insight can adapt. And they have different ways to use it. You can have fixed terminals on the shop floor, tablets for supervisors who are moving around, even smartphones for employees who are out in the field.
It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's tailored to the way each company works. It seems like the main takeaway is that Shop Floor Insight really empowers businesses to scale because it directly connects the initial plan in Business Central with how production is actually happening.
That's exactly it. It's about closing the loop, ensuring that the plans actually turn into results on the shop floor. It's about giving manufacturers the tools to be more efficient, reduce waste, and ultimately be more profitable.
We've talked about shop floor insight, closing that loop, making sure plans actually happen. But I want to dig deeper into those strategic decisions. How does this real-time data become something manufacturers can actually use?
All right, picture this. You're a production manager. You're looking at the shop floor insight dashboard. You're in charge of a production line. Let's say you're making custom-designed furniture. You've got multiple orders going, each with different specs, different deadlines.
So I'm not just seeing a list of orders, I'm seeing them like moving through the whole process, right? In real time.
Exactly, yeah. It's like having X-ray vision into your shop floor. So what happens if you notice one order is behind? Maybe it's stuck at the sanding station, taking longer than it should.
Okay, and this is where the insights become really important. Instead of finding this out days later, I can deal with it right away. But how do I know why it's delayed?
You can drill down right in shop floor insight. Is it a shortage of sanders? Is the equipment acting up? Is there a quality issue? You get that much detail.
So I can move people around, call in extra help, maybe speed up some repairs, all in real time. And because it's all connected to Business Central, those changes are reflected in my overall plan, even my financial forecasts.
One small change can really make a difference, prevent bigger problems later on. But it's not just about managers. What about the people actually on the shop floor? We don't want to make their jobs harder, right?
That's a good point. Is it easy to use?
Absolutely. Remember the barcodes and touch screens? They make data entry so simple. No more spreadsheets or typing everything in by hand.
So if I'm on the line, I just scan to clock in, scan when to start a task, stuff like that.
Exactly. It's really intuitive and fast.
Right.
And it cuts down on errors. Supervisors have dashboards that show them the status of every job, who's doing what, and any bottlenecks that might be coming up.
You mentioned reports earlier. Can you give me like an example of a report that would be really useful for a production manager?
Think about a report called, let's say, labor cost analysis. It breaks down labor costs by job, by employee, even by the specific task. You can see exactly how much labor goes into each product.
That's got to be helpful for pricing, figuring out if you're spending too much on labor, and even tracking how productive your employees are.
And you can change these reports to fit what you need. Want to see labor costs by shift, compare costs for different product lines? Shop Floor Insight can do all of that.
So it's not just about tracking time and materials. It's about understanding your whole process and using that to make every part of your business better.
You got it. That's what makes a true MES solution like Shop Floor Insight different from just like a simple time tracking system.
This has been great, but are there any downsides or challenges that manufacturers should be aware of when they're thinking about Shop Floor Insight? Is it all perfect, or are there things to watch out for?
Well, that's a good question. Shop Floor Insight has a lot of benefits, but there can be challenges. One of the biggest is people not wanting to change the way they do things.
Yeah, I get that. Change can be scary, especially on a busy factory floor. How can companies help people get on board with the change?
Communication is key, I think. Explain the benefits to everyone, address any concerns they have. And training is really important too. Make sure everyone knows how to use the technology and understands how it's going to help them.
So making people feel like they're part of the solution.
Exactly. Putting in an MES system is not a one-time thing. It needs constant monitoring and adjustments.
It's not just a quick fix. You have to keep working at it, learn from it, and make it better over time.
Right. And that's why having a good relationship with your MES provider is important. They can give you support, help you solve problems, and guide you along the way.
This all sounds great, but what about the cost? Putting in Shop Floor Insight probably isn't cheap. How can companies be sure they're getting their money's worth?
That's a valid concern. But MES systems like Shop Floor Insight have a good track record of giving a strong return on investment.
Okay, can you explain that? How does an MES system actually save you money?
Well, remember those areas we talked about: efficiency, cost control, making better decisions. An MES system can help your bottom line by streamlining operations, reducing waste, and improving accuracy.
Can you give me a specific example? How do those benefits turn into actual dollars saved?
Let's go back to that furniture manufacturer. Say they had a 10% scrap rate because of mistakes and inefficiencies. Now they put in Shop Floor Insight, improve their quality control, and their scrap rate drops to 5%. That 5% reduction saves them a lot of money, especially if they're using expensive materials.
Right. Those savings really add up, especially over time. But it's not just about saving money, is it?
Nope. It's also about optimizing labor costs, getting those deliveries out on time, and being able to take on more orders so your business can grow.
So it's about making more money, too.
Exactly. That's the real power of an MES system. It can turn your operation into a well-oiled, profit-making machine.
This has been a really interesting conversation.
Yeah.
We've talked about the specifics of shop floor insight and the bigger picture of what an MES system can do.
Yeah, it's been fascinating to see how technology is changing the world of manufacturing.
And I think we've only just scratched the surface. There's still so much to explore, from specific examples to how MES technology is changing.
Absolutely. As technology keeps getting better, it's exciting to think about what's possible in the future of manufacturing execution systems.
But let's get back to our Business Central users. What can they do to make sure they're keeping up with all the changes in MES?
Choosing the right MES partner is really important. You want a provider that's always looking for new ideas, exploring things like AI and machine learning. And they should offer solutions that are flexible and can grow as your business grows.
So don't just go with a system that works for you today, right? Think about the future. Choose a partner that's in it for the long run, someone who can help you grow and adapt.
That's it. Don't be afraid to ask the hard questions. Talk to these providers, ask about their vision for the future, what they're developing, and how they're using all these new technologies.
This has been a really fantastic look at the world of MES for Business Central. We talk about how it works, how Shop Floor Insight gives you those real-time insights, and even what MES might look like in the future.
I agree. We really got to see how technology is changing the way things are made.
But like with anything, the important thing is to take that first step. If you're a manufacturer using Business Central and you want to make your shop floor as efficient as possible, MES might be exactly what you need. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep innovating, and keep pushing the limits of what's possible.